Have you ever been at a wedding where something just didn't feel ordinary? Where one single request kept coming back to you again and again until it made your heart race and your thoughts swirl with confusion? That's exactly what happened to me. I never imagined that saying yes to one simple dance could change the entire way I saw love, loss, and family. But that night, under the warm lights of the ballroom and the soft laughter of guests echoing around me, the groom's mom kept asking me to dance. And I couldn't figure out why. Before I tell you what happened, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because what you're about to hear is one of the most emotional stories you'll ever witness, and you won't want to miss the lessons hidden within it. It started when my childhood best friend, Daniel, invited me to his wedding. Daniel was the kind of guy who always carried light with him. Always the one to bring energy to a room. The one who could make even the most serious professors laugh in college. The one who never forgot to check on his friends even when life got busy. When he told me he was marrying a woman named Emily, whom he'd met during his work abroad, I was both thrilled and a little nostalgic. I remembered all the late-night talks we had about love, about how he always wanted to find someone who would be his home in human form. And now here he was building that dream. I showed up to the wedding with a full heart, ready to celebrate. The ceremony was breathtaking. Emily looked radiant, her lace gown shimmering under the golden lights of the church as Daniel's eyes filled with tears seeing her walk down the aisle. The way he reached for her hand like she was the most fragile and precious thing he had ever held made my chest tighten with emotion. Everyone clapped and cheered when they said, "I do." But it was during the reception that something unexpected began to unfold. As music filled the air and people swirled across the dance floor, I noticed Daniel's mom walking toward me. She was dressed in a navy gown that sparkled under the chandeliers, her hair swept into a graceful bun streaked with silver strands. She had always been kind to me in the past, but that night her eyes carried something deeper, something almost pleading. She smiled and said softly, "Would you dance with me?" At first, I laughed a little, unsure if she was serious with me. "But this night's about you and your son." She shook her head. "No, dear, tonight is about love, and I'd like to dance with you." So, I took her hand and we stepped onto the dance floor. It felt a little awkward at first. After all, I had never danced with Daniel's mom before, but she held on to me tightly, her grip almost trembling. I chalked it up to excitement and nerves. After the song ended, I thought that would be the end of it. But just a few minutes later, she came back again. "One more dance?" she asked, her eyes shining strangely. It happened a third time and then a fourth. Every time I tried to politely step aside or encourage her to enjoy the evening with other family members, she insisted, "Please, just one more." The guests began to notice, and even Daniel gave me a curious smile from across the room as if to say, "What's going on?" I didn't know how to answer because I had no idea myself. By the fifth time, I could feel something in her voice breaking. Her words weren't just a request anymore. They were heavy, almost desperate. And when I looked closely, I saw the glimmer of tears welling up in her eyes. I wanted to ask her directly, but before I could, she whispered something that sent shivers down my spine. "You remind me of someone I loved very much." I froze, the music continuing around us while her words echoed in my head. Who could she possibly mean? Why me? Out of everyone in that grand ballroom. I smiled faintly, trying to hide my confusion, but inside my heart was pounding with curiosity and unease. Something was happening here, something I couldn't yet see. And I realized I was caught in the middle of a story much larger than myself. As the night grew deeper, I couldn't escape the feeling that there was more to this than just a mother being sentimental at her son's wedding. The way she clung to me, the way she looked at me like I was someone from another time, another world, it all felt like a puzzle waiting to be solved. And I didn't know it yet, but the answer would leave me breathless. The next time she approached me, her hand was trembling so badly, I thought she might collapse. Without a word, she placed her palm in mine and guided me to the center of the floor once again. The band had slowed to a softer melody, the kind that seemed to wrap around you like a memory. Her voice cracked as she leaned closer to me and said, "You dance just like him. You even hold your steps the same way." I blinked. Like who? Her eyes filled with tears as she whispered, "My husband. Daniel's father." My chest tightened. I had never met Daniel's father. I knew he had passed away years ago, long before I became close friends with Daniel in high school. Daniel didn't talk much about it. I only knew that his father had been the love of his mom's life, a man who adored dancing with her at every opportunity. Suddenly, it all made sense. Her strange insistence, her searching eyes, her trembling hands. I reminded her of the man she had lost. And in that moment, every dance we shared became a fragile bridge between her present and her past. She began telling me things she hadn't shared in years. How her husband used to twirl her in the kitchen while dinner was on the stove, laughing like children. How at their own wedding, he had promised her that every song for the rest of their lives would be theirs. And how losing him had left a silence that even music could not fill. But tonight, she said through tears, "When I danced with you, I felt him here again. Just for a moment, just for a song." I didn't know what to say. I had never carried such weight for someone before, never been the vessel for someone's memory. But as I looked at her, holding on to me like I was her lifeline, I realized something. This was not about me. This was about love. Love so strong it carved itself into memory. Love that refused to die even after death. And somehow, by some strange twist of fate, I had become the one to give that love back to her, if only for a night. When the final song ended, she hugged me tightly, her tears wetting my shoulder. "Thank you," she whispered, "for giving me back my husband's love, even if just for a little while." I held her close, my own eyes stinging with emotion. For the rest of the evening, she didn't ask me again. She didn't need to. We both knew that what we had shared would never be forgotten. Later, Daniel came to me, his eyes full of quiet gratitude. "I don't know what you said to my mom tonight, but I haven't seen her smile like that in years." "Thank you." I wanted to tell him the whole truth, but I didn't. It wasn't my story to tell. It was hers. All I could do was smile and nod, knowing that something sacred had passed between us. That night, as I left the wedding and walked under the stars, I thought about how strange life can be. We walk into moments thinking they are ordinary, but sometimes we become part of someone else's healing in ways we never expected. Sometimes one dance can carry the weight of a lifetime of love. So if you ever find yourself being asked to stay a little longer to give just one more moment, don't brush it off. You never know whose heart you're helping to hold together. And if this story touched you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Because love, loss, and healing are journeys we all walk together. And sometimes the most powerful lessons come when we least expect them.